Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Gamestack Podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. You're listening to episode 87, Rickless and Reckless, Part 4, with Shaline and Vendertron. Shaline, how you doing? Happy Friday.
Hi, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. Yes, doing fantastic. How is your week?
We don't need to talk about that, but
Oh,
I am super glad that it's Friday.
oh no. I forgot it's Friday.
Well,
Cuz
what are you doing here then? Do
uh,
you just show up every evening
uh
hoping that we'll do a podcast?
well, no, like when you work remotely, the days just kind of meld into each other.
Hmm.
Sometimes in the middle of the day that I forget it's the certain day of the week, and then I remember later on in the day. And I don't
Hmm.
really know what a weekend is anymore because I just work through the weekend.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's a thing. Definitely not complaining though. Not complaining. And a big shout out to all of our frontline workers who are out there in retail and hospitality and grocery and healthcare and emergency services, all working tirelessly on the front lines. So that I can work remotely. Um, yes, so I am your host, Vendertron. Joining me is co host Shaline as well tonight. Don't forget, boys and girls, the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. And you know how awesome it was to see all of the posts this week in our Discord and on social media of everybody just buying up those coffee beans from
It's
Oak
really
and
neat.
Crow.
It was really neat seeing people
Yeah.
posting photos of their coffee purchases.
Appar-
And don't forget $2 from each one of those purchases benefits the Children's Miracle Network.
exactly. And how can people buy some coffee, Shalene?
You can visit www.oakandcrow.com. Click on Artist Coffee. Is it Artist Coffee?
Yep.
And then you just click on the We Just Love Games.
Yes.
You scroll down to the bottom because they saved the best for last. We Just Love Games blend. You click there, you add to cart, bam, it's coffee. And
Yeah.
it's delicious coffee. It's
Yeah,
it's really good.
we've
It's
gotten
really
some
good coffee.
really good feedback on the blend this week. People are really loving the Weiwei Tenango. So, yeah, get yourself some coffee. You know what you can also do while you're getting yourself some coffee? You could also book your appointment for a vaccine for COVID-19. So, if you haven't already gotten a vaccine, please book to get one. It keeps you and your loved ones and all of us safe. It's not bad. It is very safe, despite what you may have heard. It's really nice to see some of the statistics around vaccines in the US and in Canada. Canada now has 50% of our population vaccinated, which is fantastic.
Lovely.
And that percentage is even higher in the US, and even more so for people with their second doses now as well. So if you haven't already gotten one, you should consider it and and book yourself in. Don't forget.
Today I saw a dumb TikTok where a guy was doing a TikTok, like a conspiracy theory TikTok, and he had like the long hair. It was like very conspiracy theory looking guy, and he was saying that the vaccine does not insert a microchip into your body. It takes one out.
Yeah, it's funny because like there's this new narrative around how there's this thing called vaccine shedding, which vaccine shedding is a thing and it does happen,
I
but
don't know what that is.
but not with COVID-19. So in some instances there are vaccines like the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. In some instances, the individual can shed viral particles through their skin or their hair or things like that, or saliva. But the evidence has shown that with the COVID-19 vaccines, because they are mRNA based and they're more synthetic, shedding does not occur. But, anyways, the anti vax community, the conspiracy theory community is like refusing people who have had vaccines away at the door of businesses And now all of these people who are against vaccines are wearing masks. They're like, wear your mask because people are shedding vaccine. They're shedding
Oh
the
my
virus. Like
goodness.
and it's
That is
hilarious
like
because my
getting the
colleagues,
right answer to the math problem
right? And
without knowing the formula.
exactly. And my colleagues are like, shh, don't tell them. Don't tell them that that we wanted them to wear a mask this whole time.
Oh my god. And so
Just don't say
I just
anything.
want to be like, so what you're saying is masks work.
So if you wanted confirmation that all of that rhetoric is total bunk, that I don't even know. That is just the nail on the head right there. Um anyways, on to some show tonight. Don't forget, if you are listening in live, host us on Twitch. Tell your friends about the show. Leave us a 5-star review, shout out, and a little message, and we will shout you out on the show as well. Don't forget, if you are listening, you can also find a recording of this episode on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Also, the pre-recorded video feed will be available in our video vault on our Twitch page.
We have
But
a vault?
I don't know. I'm just being clever with words.
Is Can I be the overseer?
Yes. Of
Thank
course you
you.
can. But only if you go crazy and start killing everyone.
I mean, I got you.
Okay.
I got you, boo.
We promise to withhold the giant cockroaches, though. There will be no giant cockroaches.
No such promises.
Our Discord has been pretty lively this week. We added a new channel. I don't know if you noticed, Shaline.
I actually didn't. What channel did we add?
So, who was it that... let me check the suggestions box. RTZ13 said, can we get a channel for finishers? Where people can
Like
boast...
for Mortal Kombat finishers?
where
like fatality.
No, not that kind of finisher. Where people can like boast about finishing their games.
Oh, that's a great idea for lightening the stack.
Yes, and so I actually put a little bit more of a spin on it, and we called the channel Completionists.
Nice.
So it's also if you want to post about finishing a game, but also if you want to post like all 400 and some magazines that you got in Fallout 76, you could do that. Yeah.
I love this channel already.
I know.
I can't wait to see everybody's wins.
It's gonna spam it all.
Mm-hmm.
Also welcome to Fleego Gel in the chat, aka Flagogle.
Flagogle.
Yes, we welcomed Flagogle to the Discord community last week on the show, but who do we have on the list this week, Shaline?
We have the one, the only Slim Flan Banjo Man.
Oh man. Anyone with the name with the word flan in their name is a friend in my books. Did you know that there's
how does he stay so slim if he's eating so much flan?
Well, he plays a lot of banjo. I mean, you burn a lot of calories striking those tunes. I don't know. I got nothing. Did you know that there's a website called OnlyFlans? And
yes.
And it's just flans.
Do you have to pay to see the flans?
Really? I almost kind of want to. Like, I don't know.
Are the flans safe for work?
It's like a half cut flan, and there's like jelly. There's jelly strewn about. Like, it's just, oh god. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about some news. We're gonna talk about some stocks. We've got a little bit of a special segment lined up for you guys, as well as game science. And Shaline and I are going to talk about our gameplay. And if you haven't noticed, we are without Rick this evening. He is feeling a little bit under the weather from symptoms from his second COVID vaccine. So congratulations to him on being fully vaccinated now. It's probably very exciting for him. Just to quickly jump back to the Discord, how can people join our Discord?
You can join our Discord by clicking the link right here on our Twitch page. That link is live even when the Twitch page is not live, so you can click that anytime. Alternately, you can send us a message on social media and we will get you the link.
Wonderful. Well, how about we talk about some news? This just in.
Okay, I have to cut you off before you can even start the news because Flagogel, our lovely Flagogel in chat, has posted that Rick is sick McVick now.
He was always sick. Let's be honest.
That was really good. Had to call that one out.
um, okay. Well, you watch Netflix, right? You got a Netflix
I
account.
do, yeah. I watch the occasional Netflix.
Well, Netflix is trying to make a move into a new industry. They want to get into video games. And yeah, this article comes from Nick Carpenter on Polygon. And he talks about how Netflix is reportedly searching for a new executive who can head up an expansion into the video game area. And this comes to them as a report published Friday by The Information, which suggests that Netflix has approached several veteran game industry executives about the position and wants to expand into the video game space. So what it is doing is it's considering a bundle of games that will be available via a subscription service like Apple Arcade or the Apple Bundle that launched in 2019, which had a number of different exclusive games that is available to you for $4.99 US a month. They have continued to support this platform by adding new games as well. But Netflix spokesperson told Polygon that they are very excited to do more with interactive entertainment. And they released this statement below that says, our members value the variety and quality of our content. It's why we've continually expanded our offering from series to documentaries to films, local language originals, and even reality TV. Members also enjoy engaging more directly with stories they love through interactive shows like Bandersnatch and You versus Wild, or games based on Stranger Things, La Casa de Papel, and To All the Boys. So they're very excited to do more with interactive entertainment. Have you watched Bandersnatch or You versus Wild with Bear Grylls?
No, I don't know what either of those things
Oh my
are.
god, You versus Wild is so awesome. So Bear Grylls is like I'm such a fan of Bear Grylls. He's like
Yeah.
he's Steve Irwin replacement. Um
No, no, get out of here
okay,
with
you
that.
can't replace Steve Irwin. Maybe his son can. But anyways, Bear Grylls, same category, same caliber as Steve Irwin. Anyways, so he does this show and it's on net well, it used to be on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's there now, but basically it's interactive, so you go on this journey through the jungle with him and you have to choose. He's like, okay, which path should we go? And then you put it in on your remote, like one or two,
Okay.
and then it like
So like is this like a telltale game? Can we make bad
yes,
choices and get him killed?
yes,
Yes!
you gotta do it, it's so much fun.
Oh my gosh, I am so gonna get Bear Grylls killed. It's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
it was lots of
I
fun.
should stream this. Are you allowed to stream it?
I don't
Probably
think so.
not.
You could
Probably
probably,
not.
well,
It's
I
probably
mean,
illegal.
um there's a dark alley in Discord, I hear, where where people may or may not swap shows. Not that kind of show. Get out of here, sickos. Anyways, Netflix has been experimenting with interactive video experiences for quite some time now, since about 2018. They published Black Mirror Bandersnatch and Choose Your Own Adventure style movie, followed by a similar experience in 2020 called Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt in an Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt episode. Um, and basically, they've also come out with some series based off of video games as well, like Dota, Castlevania, The Witcher, and the spin offs from that as well. And they have some other upcoming shows based on video games like Magic the Gathering, Sonic the Hedgehog, and League of Legends. They are also producing, or they have also produced some games before through third-party developers. If you recall, they developed Stranger Things, the mobile game, and then also Stranger Things 3, the game. And I cannot say enough good things about the mobile game. It was so much fun.
It was really good.
You guys have to play it if you haven't. I loved it. It was great. Um, Now, details about what they're planning to do still remain a little bit unclear, but it's been pretty apparent over the last few years that they have an interest in some sort of interactive medium. And so, given that the subscription service has slowed over the past year, and this is partially due to a delay in TV production and film production because of the pandemic, it needs to sort of find alternative ways to generate revenue. So, so they're thinking about developing this further, and they're looking to expand their team. What do you think about this, Shaline?
Totally. I think it sounds like good times. I wonder what nature of games it will be. I feel like they should probably stick with more cinematic experiences. They might try something like even like Her Story or what was the follow up to that? I forget, but it was fantastic. Telling Lies. Some full motion video games like that might be a really good fit for Netflix.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, like, we've also got Amazon Prime Video, we've got Hulu, we've got Stack. There's all these different Disney Plus. There's all these different streaming services, and this is just one thing that Netflix is trying to do to try to set themselves apart from the rest of the herd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll keep a sharp eye on that, and we will report back if we know anything else. But thank you to Nick from Polygon for writing up that article. We also want to say happy birthday to Shaline, who
Thank you.
who celebrated their birthday this week. Shaline, what did you do? Anything special?
Nothing too special. I went to work because it was a Wednesday. So,
well, I'm happy to report that you also share the same birthday week as LA Noir.
yay!
You guys love LA Noir. I love LA Noir. I need to go back and play it again, I think.
It's a great game.
Yeah, LA Noir turned 10 this week. And
just like me.
yes. This article in the Hollywood Reporter by Ryan Parker talks about, paying tribute to the great game that was released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 back in May 2011. The game is set in 1947 Los Angeles. It is an open-world neo-noir crime adventure that puts players in control of some serious crime-solving strategies and gameplay, which I love.
Speaking of noir, I saw a trailer today, Vendor, for a hard-boiled noir detective thriller video game. Can you guess what it's called? You'll never guess. It's called Chicken Police. You play as chickens. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh no.
Did I break Fender?
Well, when you're solving crimes and you're walking around crime scenes, you have to be light as a feather. So we wouldn't want to make a mess, if anything. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
It's okay. We're just having a little hen party.
We got to get all our ducks in a row. Oh.
Just as long as we haven't put all of our eggs in the same basket.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So a big shout out to LA Noir on their 10th birthday. And Aaron Staton, he is the best known actor and fan favorite Ken Cosgrove on Mad Men, who also played Cole Phelps in LA Noir, or did the voice of Cole Phelps, and also the likeness of his character in the game. Also paid tribute to LA Noir, along with his colleagues I had no idea that there were so many people in Mad Men that were also in LA Noire.
Mm-hmm.
Like a tremendous amount of people. So let me just list off some of the people. Maybe you'll recognize some of the names. So Michael Gladys, who plays Paul Kinsley, um, Mira Turley, who plays Catherine Olsen in Mad Men, Rich Summer, who plays Harry Crane, Kate Norby, who plays Carol McCarty, and Patrick Fischler, who plays Jimmy Barrett. And then there's a couple of other people as well in the game. So yeah, it's now a decade later, and the game continues to shine. It's still a great title. Actually, I think that they just did like a remastered version of it, didn't they?
I think they did
Like
remaster
last
it
year or
not too long
something.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to say it was maybe 2 years ago.
Well, anyways, if you haven't checked out LA Noire, definitely do. The game surely holds up. And if you don't enjoy the graphics because they feel a little bit dated, you'll certainly love the soundtrack and the characters. They're just fantastic. Except I was always so bad at telling if people are lying or not. Like,
The funniest thing to me was always when you choose the doubt option. I always expected him to be like to there was just this really disconnect between what you thought he would say and what he says. So I would choose the doubt option because I would feel like, I'm not sure this lady's telling the truth. I'm gonna doubt her. And I would click doubt thinking that he was gonna be like, yeah, I'm not sure you're telling me the truth, ma'am. But instead you click doubt and he's like, why are you lying to me? Damn it, never lie to me. Just start screaming at this lady.
uh,
Oh, that guy.
so
He's
good.
he's he's a class act.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of getting yourself involved with the law, you've heard about this class action lawsuit or several class action lawsuits against CD Projekt Red over Cyberpunk. Apparently,
I
there are 4 class action lawsuits over Cyberpunk's troubled launch. Yeah.
really
Yes. Um, and the Witcher developer confirmed on Tuesday that a lead plaintiff has been appointed and is looking to consolidate all of these 4 class action lawsuits together um, in order to move forward with court proceedings. So my guess is that each one of the claims is similar to the other, and they're like, why not just combine it? Or the judge was probably like, I'm not going to go through this 4 times. You either combine your lawsuit together or we throw it out the door. Anyways, the action is in relation to Cyberpunk's 2077's troubled launch, which centered around the game's criticism based on performance on last-gen consoles, as well as the removal from the PlayStation Store abruptly, which actually made Project Red's stock price fall quite a bit, about 15%, on December 18th. The lawsuit itself includes 2 class actions from one of its own shareholders, but also this shareholder has alleged that the CD Projekt Red violated federal laws by misleading investors over the quality of the game itself. So, yeah, which incurred them damages. So really, it's all just money, of course. But yeah, the second lawsuit brought against them in January, which is around the content of the game itself, including its subject and scope, saying that it is the same. And in a statement responding to that class action in December, CD Projekt Red said that they would undertake vigorous action to defend itself against any such claims. However, despite those difficulties, they have had quite a successful launch. They have launched 13 million copies sold since launch, and have received a number of updates and have fixed a number of the game's issues as well. And they just pushed in March a very large update that made over apparently more than 500 changes to the game itself, which included bug fixes and graphical updates and different things for performance and stability. So, um, and yeah, so that's what's going on in the world of CD Projekt Red. I had no idea that there was a class action lawsuit, but thank you to Andy Robinson at VGC for putting together this article so we could share it with the rest of our listeners. And yeah, what do you think, Shaline?
I I think that seems a little silly. I feel like lawsuits are too heavily used. I don't. That's pretty much the extent of the thought right there.
Okie dokie. Well, sometimes lawsuit can bring in lots of money, and we like money, right? You like money?
Well, I mean, I like the things that money can buy.
So, okay, so how about this? You can get free money. What?
There's no such thing as a free lunch vendor.
Well, apparently you can get a £10 video game voucher for free from Epic Games. No strings attached. In this article from Liam Martin that was published in the Daily Sunday Express in the UK says that PC gamers have been given an offer courtesy of Epic Games in its ongoing battle with Steam. The platform holder is giving all customers the chance to claim a free £10 voucher, no strings attached. Just head on over to the Epic Games Store, log into your account, and claim your £10 video game voucher. And it can be used on any game that is priced over $13.99 or above, even if it's already on sale. So, and the voucher can be used from now until June 17, which is actually the same date that the Epic Mega Sale also comes to an end. So, if you are interested in purchasing some games on the Epic Store, you can go and check that out. But yeah, I wonder how much that is Canadian, because like when I was in the UK, we paid like double for everything. So maybe it's like a $20 voucher. I'm gonna log into my Epic store right now and tell you. Are you gonna get the voucher? Are you on the Epic store? Do you have any games with Epic?
I have the free games. I log in and redeem the free game on a pretty regular basis.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever purchased a game on Epic. I have gotten a couple of review codes on Epic in the past.
Well, here's a shocker. I have Red Dead Redemption through Epic.
Nice.
And also SnowRunner.
What is SnowRunner?
SnowRunner is this game where you drive trucks through mud, and you have to like strategically try to figure out how they get through the mud without getting them stuck.
Why isn't it called Mud Runner?
Because this particular version has both mud and snow, because there's an Alaska map.
I
But
see.
yeah. So I bought the SnowRunner version because Mud Runner is less good.
Okay.
Anyways, apparently Epic is not loading, so I can't give you an update on how much that is Canadian. But it's probably about $300. So don't quote me on that.
$300.
Get out of here. Yeah. Anyways, I've got another article here from VGC by Tom Ivan, who talks about Xbox and Bethesda, who are planning to host a joint conference in the next couple of weeks. So that's kind of interesting. Matt Booty, who heads Xbox Game Studio, has reportedly told French publication Le Figaro that the event would take place in a few weeks, sometime in mid-June, coinciding with the Summer Game Festival and E3 2021. They also told journalist Chloe Whittier, who has put out the article about the impact of COVID-19 on the production of Xbox games titles, that Microsoft doesn't want its studios to actually create any games based simply on what might work for the Game's pass, but that they couldn't really share any more information on that. But following this news, Phil Spencer said that delivering exclusive games for platforms that support Xbox Game Pass was the primary reason why Microsoft had acquired ZeniMax. And so they've also added that there's a number of different additional titles to the Games Pass that include Arcane's Dishonored Definitive Edition and Prey. Um, so you look like you have something to say about that, Shaline.
Well, I have something to say about our previous story because I just logged into Epic to claim the free game. And it's NBA 2K21, which is pretty recent. That's a pretty recent release.
Oh,
So I claimed that, and after claiming that, it gave me the $10 voucher.
is it $10 American?
It's $10 American.
Oh,
So
that's so cheap.
I now have the voucher. So
That's kind of cheap because it's actually worth more where you're from.
well, I mean, it's not my fault that you were born on the wrong side of the border.
You could not be any more American right now. Oi. Okay. Woo. I think it might also be maybe it's also $10 Canadian. I'm not sure. Let me know, guys. Apparently I have Fortnite on
I
Epic.
mean, Fortnite is free.
Oh, that's
Everybody
why.
has Fortnite.
That's why I have it. Anyway, so keep your eye out for Bethesda and Xbox doing something in the next few weeks, in June sometime. Yeah.
Lovely.
Jason Schreier said, who's a Bloomberg reporter, said that Bethesda's plan is to tease a release date for Starfield at E3. And that
What do you think is going to be the release window for Starfield?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure that I really care all that much.
Really? Are you that burned?
No, I just am not intrigued by Starfield.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Like if they put out a new thing and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do Mass Effect," I'd be like, "Okay."
So not big on sci-fi or
I am, but I'm not entrenched in that series. I don't know.
well, I mean it's not a series. It doesn't exist yet.
Well, I know, but I was talking about Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Starfield. I mean, it looks cool. Um, Honestly, my life is so busy that video games come out that I've been waiting for like years, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
even notice. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it came out," and then I'm like, "Do I really have time to play this?" Not really. Not really. But anyways, yeah, Jason said, "Let me make this very clear. Bethesda's plan is to tease a release date for Starfield at E3. That date is in late 2022. He'll leave the specifics to them, but please keep your expectations in check and refrain from sending death threats when the other rumors turn out to be false." So, mm, mm,
How terrible that needs to be said.
right? What kind of world we living in?
A silly one. A very silly one.
Speaking of crazy worlds, let's talk about some stocks.
Ooh.
You want to take us through the stock market this week, Shaline?
I would love to. So this stock update is as of closing today, May the 21st. And we've got the spread, the plus minus spread is since the last episode of Gamestack 2 weeks ago. So Sony, which performed very poorly while I owned it, is now up to 96.38. That is down 52 cents. Microsoft is sitting at 245.17 a share. That's down $1.31. Nintendo is at 73.37. That's up $1.44. And Take-Two is at a very healthy 184.36, down 72 cents. Activision is sitting at 95.37, down $1.20. Ubisoft is at 58.64. That's up 12 cents. EA is at 140.17, down $1.64. And Tencent is at 74.60, down $2.42.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been thinking about buying some new stocks, Fender. Um, I've got a couple of Nintendo stocks. They're doing okay, but I've been thinking about investing in some more gaming stocks, but I don't know which ones I should buy.
Well, let me tell you, Shaline, this article from Motley Fool by Nicholas Rossalillo talks about the 3 top video game stocks you can buy after the first quarter of 2021
Oh,
earnings. Yes. So Nicholas says that video games are already a growing industry, but even the pandemic itself has sort of catalyzed that growth even further. And he says, this year's first quarter were an indication of that growth with solid earnings across the board, but notable earnings among the games Zynga, C, and Universal Display. Now, not all games, developers, tech related things. Now, here's what he has to say about it. Smartphones have made tens of millions of more people into gamers. Um, they are now the top medium for playing video games these days, and they account for half of global revenue by some estimates, according to reports last year, and are expected to remain in that position throughout this year. Zynga is one of those developers that have stood out in this area. The company is known for franchising titles like CSR Racing and Words with Friends. And they have some new games called like Toon Blast and Toy Blast and things like that. And, people are stuck at home. What are they going to do, right? So go on their phone, play some video games. So revenue for that company was actually up 68%, which is a new record. And sees that he thinks Nick sees that there's this opportunity for expanding growth within these mobile games as well. So keep your eye on Zynga. C is a I'm not sure what C is. I've never heard of it.
nor have I.
Apparently it's a cloud gaming subsidiary of Garena, which is an South Asian based company. But apparently they have sold also a record, and their digital entertainment associated shares grew 111% year over year last year. So those earnings are quite good. And he says that their balance sheet is in really good shape. So keep an eye on that growth trajectory for that company as well. Now, the last one that I said was Universal Display. It's not actually a video game developer. This one is a manufacturer of or a licensor of ultra high definition OLED display technology. And they also sell basic materials used for manufacturing those displays. Now, to date, this company is top of the line when it comes to developing or building screens, and they've also contributed to high-end smartphones and premium TVs as well. The trend for Universal Displays is really good. Revenue in the first quarter was up 19%, and again, profitability was also even more as they get more efficient in terms of manufacturing processes and costs related with these high definition screens. So,
Interesting.
yeah, they are definitely a watch, a growth stock, and it's keep in mind that these types of stocks can also be quite volatile, but they also pay dividends. So 0.4% or 80 cents per share on an annual basis. And they've increased their payout every year since they initiated their dividend in 2017,
Lovely.
which at the time was 12 cents per share. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, he also says that 5 years from now you may want to consider, or you may have wished that you grabbed these stocks now. So Just remember in 5 years that we talked about this on this
Mm-hmm.
episode of Rickless and Reckless Part 4, when Shaline and I are both kicking ourselves because we
Yes.
didn't buy into Zynga. Anyways,
Cursing our own names.
let's talk about something also completely random and weird. Cars and video games? You want to talk about cars and video games?
Yes. Is it the Halo Warthog? That's my favorite car in a video game.
Okay, so I found this article and I wanted to share it as our special segment because it's so weird. Um, the article is written by Joel Kempson of USwitch, and he put this together about the most commonly featured cars in video games. And
I'm gonna guess Jeeps are up there.
oh, why?
I feel like a lot of army games have got Jeeps in them,
Okay,
segments where you
okay.
ride in a Jeep.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's cars in all kinds of games, like
Mhm.
Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty and, I don't know, Euro Truck Simulator, Farm Sim. Um, yeah, they are featured very heavily in video games over the last few years, especially sim games, and they don't necessarily take the main focus of the game itself. They're just sort of like a peripheral asset. Um, and so I thought this article would be really cool to share. Number one top spot, actually, we'll start at the bottom, top five. So the
Okay.
first one is the Mazda RX-7 MK3, and this is mainly gets its spot because of Gran Turismo. So Gran
I'm gonna have
Turismo
to Google these
franchise,
cars to see what they look like. It's a Mazda what?
Mazda RX-7. I'm gonna Google it too because
Okay.
I'm also.
Mazda
Oh,
RX-7
that's a nice car. Yeah,
image.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, she's
I
pretty. I
remember
like it.
driving this car
She's
in Need
cute.
for Speed.
It's very cute.
Yeah. So it is the fifth most common car model in video games with 383 features, which means that I think it's in 383 titles.
Or maybe that means that it has 383 bugs in video games. Is it a bug or is it a feature?
Out of these appearances, 383 features, I think, is 383 appearances.
Of course.
Out of these appearances, the car features in yellow the most, 75 times. And yeah, it's a sports car, so it's most popular in the Gran Turismo franchise, in the second and sixth installment, and makes 16 appearances in each of those games. The next car is the Toyota Supra MK4. Now, Shaline and I are both Googling it because we don't know what they look like. Okay, another sports car. Reasonable.
It looks remarkably similar to the Mazda.
Yeah. Well, this is the fourth most common car model featured in video games. And after this study that they did, they found that it was featured in video games 386 times since it was originally produced by car manufacturer Toyota. And their analysis also revealed that the car is most commonly found in the color silver. 70 out of 386 appearances, it was silver. It's
I'll
best.
bet there are some car guys out there in the audience that are real mad at us right now for our lack of knowledge.
Well, I kind of have an idea of what these cars look like, but Flagogel was actually looking for an RX-7 for sale today. Well, anyways, the Toyota Supra is best known for its powerful engine and striking appearance, but it is best known for the 2013 mobile racing game Drift Spirits. So that's where it makes most of its appearances.
Okay.
Third spot, Nissan Skyline MK10. Why do all these cars have an M? Like, what does the MK mean? Is this like a Mark 10? So is this like, it must be like a European thing because it definitely doesn't exist in America, North America. Anyways, also a little kind of sporty type vehicle. The Nissan Skyline is the third most common car in video games. And
I think I had one of these in Need for Speed.
Yeah. Yeah. The research in this study uncovered variations of the vehicle had been featured 440 times in video games, and the most frequent color, blue, with
Hmm.
108 cars listed as this color overall.
Yeah, my Need for Speed one was blue.
Of course, taking the second spot from the top, the Mustang is
Oh,
the
why am I
second.
Googling Mustang? I am
I
familiar with the Mustang.
second most common car. It was first introduced in 1965. It became wildly popular due to its sporty pony car appearance. Um, and video games developers have featured this vehicle particularly 545 times. It is featured 19 times in the video game Ford Mustang 2005, of course, in various different colors and models, but it's mostly dedicated to racing games specifically, and
I'm
unsurprisingly,
really
right?
pleased that we have an American car on the list.
Can you guess what the most frequent color was for this car?
Red.
Yes, absolutely. The classic racing red. So Sullivan's like, I drive a Ford Mustang now.
I'm thinking about getting one for my next car.
Now, this is the best. This is the best. The top spot for the most common video game car
Okay.
is the Ford Crown Victoria.
Yes, I love that. I love that Crown Vic. I sold 2 Crown Vics last week.
What are
Um,
you working at a car dealership now?
they're a very common model for cop cars. And
Yes.
we had a surplus equipment sale at the city. So
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah, you have to
Yes.
scrape off the cop decals and then you can get those things on the market.
Well, Shaline, that is the exact reason that makes this car the number one most common featured car in video games. It is not that luxurious, but it is most common because it is used as a police or emergency
Yeah.
services vehicle, also a taxi,
Yes, yes. Crown
also used
Vics
as a
are
taxi.
tough. They are tough and they will take a licking and keep on ticking. Those are good little cars, Crown
Yeah, yeah.
Victorias.
The Crown Vic has amassed itself 635 times in various video games in all different appearances, most of which were in the 2000 game Midnight Club Street Racing.
I loved Midnight Club Los Angeles.
And the
It was a
most
really good
common
game.
color, as you could probably guess, is yellow. 187 out of those 635 times they recorded that color in video games, but the Crown Vic takes the bacon.
That's fantastic. Crown Vic for the win.
I love it. So there's this game that's coming out later this year called Taxi Simulator,
Oh, this is right up your alley.
and you get to drive a yellow Crown Victoria through New York, and it is so classic. I'm excited. I'm going to be a taxi driver.
Do you have people like throwing up in the back of your taxi cab and stuff? Do
Um
you have to deal with that or is it just a
yeah.
driving sim?
Well, I mean, okay, so I joined the Discord for this game because I saw the trailer and it was like the driver was driving all crazy and he was drinking a beer while he was driving and like running people over, and I'm like, "Wait a minute. This is a simulator game. It's not supposed to be like this." If I want to simulate being a taxi driver, I'm not going to drink beer and run people over. So anyways, I popped in the Discord. I'm like, "Hey guys, I want to talk to you about something." I'm like, if you make this driver crazy and you make me do crazy things to fulfill parts of the game, I'm not going to play it. I just want to get in on and sit on like my beaded seat cover and put the radio on and go pick up fares and like drive like a real taxi driver. That's the whole
Well,
point.
I'm sure that'll be an option.
It better be, damn it, or I'm going to be mad. Anyways, so I'm super excited about that. Crown Vic for the win. That's our special segment. And why don't we talk about some science?
Going.
I love that bumper so much. It's so bad. It's so good. Anyways, I found this really cool article today, and it talks about video games and climate change. Now, we know that the climate crisis is a real problem, but we're seeing that video game developers are starting to adopt climate change as a theme as part of their video
Really?
games. Yeah. So new games and game producers are now hoping to appeal to the environmentalist side of all of us and sort of instill some of that important messaging about protecting our environment and our planet. One such game, Beyond Blue it's called, sets a protagonist in the ocean, and the game uses footage from BBC's Blue Planet 2 to inspire gamers and create a world, a real world. Alan Gershenfeld, the co-founder of Eline Media, um, told DW, which I guess is a reporting agency, that more gamers care about the ocean than ever before. And the more they want to explore the ocean, that is a key part to, you know, educating people about ocean preservation and things like that. Um, Apparently, the UN is also a strong proponent of using video games as a tool to raise awareness about climate change. And they've reported that, playing for the planet, how video games can deliver for people and the environment. In this article, they show that, they it's absolutely a good opportunity for people to learn more about our environment. UN author of Fun INC in the UN report, Tom Chatfield said, given the environment is itself wickedly complex, I think game worlds have a huge potential for showing how change can ripple through systems. Perhaps the first time in my life I truly grappled with the problem of industrial pollution was when I played the original SimCity and Civilization. So, um, the Playing for the Planet Alliance is a new initiative that encourages climate action within the gaming industry. And Alliance co founder and chief of youth for the education and advocacy at UNEP, Sam Barrett, says that the games industry is now probably the biggest entertainment medium of our time, and their reach and engagement powers are unprecedented. So, this support in the right way can really have a big shift and impact on the environmental debate itself. So, so if you're interested in reading more about climate change in video games, you can check out this article on onegreenplanet.org written by Eliza Erskine. And yeah, I just thought I would share this because it was a
Really
really cool
interesting.
take on climate change and video games. It's not something that I've ever really thought about, but I am very passionate about saving, the environment. What do you think? What are your
I
thoughts?
That's really interesting, and I feel like there are probably some games that don't directly tackle climate change that can sort of relate in other ways. There are a lot of games out there where the environment changes based on the decisions that you make and the actions that you take
Yep.
in the game.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that's definitely something about video games as a medium gives you the ability to tell stories in such a different way than other media like film or
Mm.
uh, prose. It gives you agency over what's happening when
Yep.
you're playing a video game,
Yep.
and it invests you in the world in a way that other media does not.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a really good platform. It's a really good platform to tackle, um I guess, activism, environmental activism,
Advocacy.
advocacy. Thank you.
Yeah. 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 I have a strong passion for understanding our environment and our impact on it. And have you ever heard of the concept of One Health?
No.
So, One Health is this relatively newer concept where it conceptualizes the idea that everything that we do everything that we experience in terms of our own health is the result of our own actions and the actions of people around us and the society and our impact on the environment. So, one species going extinct can partially, might be a little bit tiny bit contributing factor, but can partially contribute to the reason why we experience certain health outcomes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so this whole like ecosystem, this whole One Health concept is really cool. But I never really thought about my impact personally until I started hiking. And when you hike in a provincial park, there are a lot of measures that you have to take to ensure that the park stays clean,
Right.
that it is safe, and that you're not polluting. For instance, you have to pack out all your garbage.
Mhm.
If you got to do your business, you have to do it at least 12 feet off the trail, and you have to dig into the ground, not just and when you do hike, you're never supposed to go off the trail because you can trample on, you know, very delicate foliage in the mountains and things like that. And it's funny because when I was playing Red Dead Redemption, it's like one of the games that most closely resembles hiking for me. And
Right.
so I'm like I'm going to go on a hiking trip in Red Dead Redemption, right? I would not deviate from the trail. I'm
Huh?
like, we can't go off the path. We're going to like wreck it. So, yeah. Anyways, I can't really think of any sort of examples in the games I've played where climate change themes have emerged. The one that comes top of mind is the new Chernobyl game called Liquidators that's going to be coming out later this year. Um, it's in like a beta private release right now where you can like sign up to play it to check it out. But basically, you're a liquidator, and if you recall from our awesome episode with book author Andrew Leatherbarrow, who wrote Chernobyl 12340, there are this group of liquidators. They're called liquidators, and they are the people that were assigned of doing the nuclear cleanup or the radiation cleanup after the Chernobyl disaster. That's one thing that I can imagine would probably be. Do you have to like take out your garbage in Animal Crossing?
You can't. In some instances, you do, because if you forget to sell your turnips and they spoil, then you just have rotten turnips,
Oh
right?
no.
So you have to get rid of your rotten turnips, and there are some fireworks that you can use and that kind of thing, and they leave little burnt firework trash that you
Yeah.
have to get rid of.
Yeah. Taz in the chat says, like in Raft, you have to turn trash into usable building resources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good observation. Anyways, that's our game science segment and our stock and our special segment and our news for this evening. But let's talk about what we're playing. Shaline, why don't you
Ooh.
go first?
Okay. Well, vendor. So I have some news for you. I went on a date.
Oh,
Yeah, I went on a
okay.
date.
I
It was in
mean, how
Undertale.
dare you? Like,
It was in Undertale. So
oh,
I've been playing Undertale, and in Undertale, I am attempting not to do any combat. So instead of combat, I'm trying to use dialogue choices and things like that to progress the story, as opposed to doing murder. So one of the bosses of the game is a skeleton named Papyrus, and I was fighting Papyrus, and one of the options was to flirt with him. So I was flirting with Papyrus, um and it was really funny. He says, like, he's like, oh my gosh, you're flirting with me. He's like, well, I am a skeleton with very high standards. And one of the
what?
options was to tell him that I know how to make spaghetti.
Oh,
So I said, I know how to make spaghetti. And he says, you're meeting all of my standards. So he's like, okay, after we fight, then we can date. Okay. So we have the fight, and I'm unsuccessful at the fight because I'm really bad at dodging the attacks. Um,
Jeez, this
it's
is like
it's
domestic
very
violence.
difficult. Yes, it was. It really was. And so he captured me and like put me in a little room, and I walked right out. You know, it was not a very secure jail situation, and eventually he decided that I was really terrible at this, but I was just going to keep escaping, and he was tired of locking me up. So he was going to just let me progress. Um, and so he says, okay, we're not going to fight anymore. But, you know, if you want to come back for that date, I'll be around. So, of course, I went back for the date because, of course, I did. So I went down there and he's like, oh, are you here for our date? I'm like, yes, I'm here for the date. He's like, okay. He's standing in front of his house. He says, I'm going to take you someplace very special. So we walk together
It's a
down the
trap.
street a
It's a
ways
trap.
and then turn around and go back to his house.
Oh.
So we have the date at his house, and we're going through his house, having a little tour. I opened his fridge; it was full of spaghetti. Um, and we have this really awkward date. He has a bed shaped like a race car. Um, it was amazing. It was amazing, right? And then finally he tells me, like, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but I just don't like you the way that you like me. And I can see that you're really, really in love with me. And I tried to give this a chance. I really did. I thought that if I did all the right things, that the feelings would come. But I'm sorry. I don't feel the same way that you do. And he says, but we can still be friends. We can stay friends. And someday you will find someone and I will help you settle for second best.
Can you? Okay, then what happened?
So after Papyrus broke my heart, I was walking on a little further. I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on with this game. And I ran into his brother Sans. And Sans is also a skeleton. You know, he's Papyrus's brother. And he took me out for burgers at the bar.
That's a winner.
So yeah, I went out for burgers with Sans, and that really it helped me feel better, you
Well,
know, from my
Papyrus, I mean,
recent heartbreak.
guess it turned out to be a psychopath. I mean, who has a fridge full of spaghetti and a
He
race
really
car bed?
likes spaghetti.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like, what would you do if you were on a date with somebody in real life and that happened? Like he takes you to the end of the street and back, and then shows you his race car bed and his fridge full of spaghetti, and then tells you that it's not you, it's me.
You want to know something sad, Vendor? That wouldn't be the worst date I've been on.
Oh God. Oh, that's good. That is rich.
It was
Probably
brilliant.
probably the best video game story you've ever told.
It was
Yeah.
really good. It
Hmm.
was it was good times. So yeah, it didn't work out with Papyrus, but I did meet some wonderful people, some really attractive, very tall vampire ladies in Resident Evil Village.
Oh.
So
Oh, tell me all the deets.
yes, I've been playing Resident Evil Village, and you know me, I get real scared at the spooky games. You know, I get
Yeah.
real scared.
Uh-huh.
But I was so intrigued by the marketing around Resident Evil Village that I wanted to try it for myself. I was not willing to wait for Rick to decide that he was going to play it for stream.
Mhm.
So I had to tackle it myself. And I've been making very slow progress, but I am making progress. I have to stop like every 30 minutes or so and just collect myself because I get so scared.
Do you play
I
it with
am
all the lights on?
Yes, and I am not above asking my mother to sit with me while I play this scary game.
That's great.
Yes. um, but um, it's a fantastic game so far. I'm really, really enjoying it.
Nice.
I guess this is the first time I've ever really tried to play a Resident Evil game by myself. I tried the Resident Evil 7 demo one time, but it was too scary. Couldn't do it. But I'm playing this one. I'm about 4 hours in. Um, I know for most people that's like halfway through the game. I'm still in the castle.
4 hours in, I just picked my hairstyle.
Yes, exactly. I would like to know what Capcom has got against hands. They are very brutal to this character's hands,
Mm.
man. They are so mean to his hands. It makes me feel a little bad. I wonder how he's still functioning. Hands are a delicate instrument. There are a lot of moving parts there, but they just keep just
Hands are a
hurting his
hard thing to
hands,
do in
man.
video games. Like we remember Chloe
Yes,
and
Chloe and
her giant palms.
they
I
were
got
so
I
big.
gotta take a picture of the hands on my farmer in Farm Sim because when he holds onto the wheel, it's like his hands are like bent back into his arms.
Oh my
It's really
gosh, that's
bad. Yeah,
amazing.
I'll
I
take a
need I need a
picture.
screenshot of that. Um so Resident Evil Village, this one is tonally very different from the other Resident Evil games that I have experienced. I haven't played one, but I have, of course, sat with Rick and watched him play several of them.
Right?
So, um,
Sunday horror
yes,
survive. Yeah.
Survival Horror Sundays. We played several of the Resident Evil games. So if while I haven't played Resident Evil, I feel like I have. But this one, it feels a little bit more like a carnival sideshow. The others seem a little more based in reality somehow,
Okay.
even though it's not realistic, but it feels somehow more based in reality than this one. This one definitely has an air of circus about it, which is really interesting. And comparing it specifically to Resident Evil 7, which of course this game carries the same protagonist, Ethan Winters, Resident Evil 7 definitely felt more plausible. And of course, Resident Evil 7 is not a class in realism by any means, but there's something about the fact that you're basically just playing as a dude with terrible in-laws
Oh.
that's relatable. it's
Yeah.
it's he's gone to his wife's family's house, um and his in-laws try to kill him, basically is the plot of Resident Evil 7. And Resident Evil 8, it doesn't have that same feeling of relatability where you feel like, oh yes, this is something I can identify with. It's very ridiculous. It's very very fantastic and whimsical almost. It's
Okay.
it's whimsical in a terrifying way. Um, it is very scary. It is very scary. The characters are larger than life. Of course, our tall vampire lady that the internet is going crazy for is part of this game, but she is only one of several characters that have their own separate themes. So
Oh my
she's
god.
sort of a mini boss.
I watched that video that you
Yeah.
shared about the hat.
The hat, wasn't that amazing? It was a mod
It
where
just kept getting
every
bigger.
time you look at her hat gets bigger. It was the best. It was just the best. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Resident Evil Village. Looking forward to playing some more of that. I'm still in the castle. Um and of course, Animal Crossing is a
Mm.
permanent part of my life.
Mm.
And of course, as you mentioned earlier, it was my birthday this week. And
Yeah.
something that I have looked forward to every year for many years now is celebrating my birthday inside Animal Crossing, because they celebrate your birthday, your little villagers, and it's adorable, Vendor. It's so wholesome. So I was really excited about it. I came home, I put Animal Crossing on the big TV, I logged in, and the moment you log in, one of your villagers just shows up at your house and he's like, hey, um, you're coming with me. Like, don't even talk. Just come with me.
Okay.
So he takes you over to his house. It was Antonio. Antonio is an anteater who is also a jock. He's one of my favorite villagers of all time. Antonio kidnapped me, took me to his house, and it was a surprise birthday party.
Oh.
Yes, it was so cute. And there was a cake, and I got to blow out the candles, and they had a pinata, and I had to hit the pinata, and the pinata was full of cupcakes. So so I gather up the cupcakes out of the pinata, and I go around and just distribute these cupcakes to all of the other villagers, and they're like, "Yay!" And they give me presents, and so then I had all these birthday decorations to decorate my house with. It was fabulous, and
Gosh.
it turns out I share a birthday with one of my other favorite villagers, Olaf. Olaf,
Oh.
he's also an anteater, but he's different than Antonio. Antonio is a jock. Olaf is a bit of a dandy sort of a fellow. He likes to wear expensive clothing, and he's got very carefully styled hair,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yes, he's very fancy.
He's a
And
bit of a dandy.
yes, I love him. I love Olaf. So it's his birthday too. So I
Okay.
stopped by
Okay.
his party at
Oh.
his house, and I gave him a ping pong table. He was really,
What?
really excited about it
You just
for
had
his
it in
birthday.
your
No,
pocket?
I bought it for his present. I bought it and wrapped it
What?
and gave Olaf a ping pong table.
When did you buy it? It was like were you planning this like weeks in advance?
Yes, I bought it the day before. I knew that Olaf shared a birthday with me because it was on the bulletin board. So
Oh, okay, I see.
yes, so I was able to plan ahead, and I got it, wrapped it up. He was thrilled, absolutely happy. And after I finished handing out cupcakes, I noticed that KK Slider was there on my island. And KK Slider is a musician. He is a
Oh,
dog who is a musician.
okay.
Um, and he brings his guitar about once a week to the island, but not on Wednesdays. So I was like, what are you doing here, KK? And it turns out he came to play a special concert for my birthday, and he played me a birthday song. And while he was playing this song, the screen was full of nice letters from the people who live on my island. There was like a nice birthday letter from Timmy and Tommy at the store, and one from the Hedgehog sisters who run the clothing shop, and a couple of my little villagers. And it was so wholesome, and it was a lovely experience. I spent about an hour celebrating my birthday in Animal Crossing,
That's
and it was a
awesome.
good day. It was a really good day.
So cuz your mom is on Animal Crossing too, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
can she send you things for your birthday in Animal
She
Crossing?
did. She did. She sent me a little green tea set.
Oh.
Yes, and she sent me a little party popper, where you pull the string and the confetti uh
Brr.
comes flying out. Yeah. So she mailed those. Those were waiting in my mailbox when I got there. It was real cute.
I still say that's the best part of Fallout is those birthday lunch boxes.
Oh, they're so
And
fun.
you open them
They're
up,
so
you
fun.
open it and like a little plastic fork flies out. Yes, just what I always wanted. Oh man, I always love your video game adventures and your stories about the games that you play. They're
Yeah,
so
I had
exciting.
some happy times. Really enjoyed my games this week.
That's good. Anything else?
That's it.
Oh, man. So Resident Evil, like you're doing this through playthrough by yourself. Are
Yes.
you streaming it on Sundays?
No.
Okay.
No. I get too scared, vendor. Like, I can't function sometimes. I get so scared that I just have to stop.
Yeah.
And I'm only playing in little short bursts. Because I'll play for a little while, and then I'll get real scared, and I'll just stop
Okay.
and
Yeah.
leave.
Mm.
Yeah, and go outside, smell a flower, feel
Hmm.
the sun,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, um, I haven't really gotten around to much games in the last few weeks. I've been really sort of knee deep in my research for school
Mm-hmm.
and meetings. So what I have played is just some sim games. I tended to my farm. I cut some grass. I got the lawn cut and put some seed in. I bought a brand new crop sprayer, and this thing is
Ooh,
massive. It's a 50-foot wingspan, 50-meter wingspan, and I can do a whole field in about 2 minutes. It's awesome.
nice.
Yeah. So that was my treat to myself. Um, and what else did I do? Raven and I are on the same. Raven's View is a avid streamer on Twitch. He's so awesome. He's just this cute grandpa, you know, living happily, living his days in retirement in his lovely little apartment in Ottawa. And I was actually supposed to go and have beers with him in 2020 because I was going to be in Ottawa for a conference. And anyways, that never happened because of COVID-19. But him and we sort of met each other through Euro Truck Simulator.
Huh.
Because he streams a lot of Euro Truck Simulator, and as you know, I tend to gravitate to the more mature streamers on Twitch because the conversation is usually more interesting. Personally, that's just my own perspective of it. Um, anyways, so we have started this farm together. Taz is also in our world. He's got his own farm. He's got like 70 head of cattle and a bunch of land as well. But we've got this little farm and a bunch of fields and stuff. We're growing some corn and sunflowers and soybeans. And
I demand a screenshot of the
did I
sunflowers.
not send you one? I thought I took
Mm-mm.
one. I'll grow some more sunflowers and then I'll show you. But I think the best part of it is cutting the grass. It's just so methodical. And as somebody who doesn't have a lawn to cut, I mean, I'm sure it will be different. If
You can come cut mine.
if and when I have a lawn, I'm not gonna enjoy it anymore. So, anyways, yeah, it's a good time. Um, we have to get a new silo, but we can't afford it because we're broke. Because I bought the crop sprayer. So, yeah. Um, I've also been I fired up SnowRunner. So it's I don't even know why I'm playing this game. I got I have this habit now of watching daytime TV on my lunch breaks. I'm obsessed with Dr. Oakley on National Geographic. She is this Yukon veterinarian, and she goes and she saves porcupines and elk in the forest. And she's just this amazing human being. Um, and anyways, so I got to watching this show. It was these gold miners in, gosh, where was it? It was in Switzerland. And they had to go up these crazy terrains. And they were in this convoy of massive trucks. They had this big military truck, and then they had this other truck that had like this house on the back, and then there was this big pickup truck, and they were going through like this crazy terrain that was super muddy, and they kept getting stuck and having to like talk it through and like winch themselves out and figure out how to get out. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to fire up SnowRunner because that's what SnowRunner is. It's basically like you got to move this from point A to point B and you got to figure out how to get there. And it's a slow process and there's lots of mud and you're probably going to get stuck. Make sure you have a winch. And so you do these little jobs where you got to take like metal beams or like a load of lumber to a farm or some sort of place on the map. And the more you explore, you find watchtowers, and it sort of reveals a different part of the map. And there's other vehicles throughout the map that you can claim when you discover them. So I've got like a Ford Bronco, an old Bronco that's just like bogs through. I'm like, just like, and it's great. And I've got this older truck too. It's like a GMC. It's just a tank. This thing is like, there's a hole in the floor. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's like my childhood. Right in GMC pickups with holes in the floor.
Yeah, exactly. It's a super simple game, but it's super relaxing. I'm secretly just an old man inside. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The thing about going through mud with in a truck with a hole in the floor is that the mud comes up through the hole and
Yes.
gets all over you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I've been playing just a little bit of SnowRunner, not too much, just kind of like figuring it out and getting back into it. So I'll probably play some more of it. I think the reason why I put that game down was because they hadn't yet optimized the steering wheel for it.
Mm,
But now that I've gone back to it, it's fully optimized and it works great. So
lovely.
you can really feel where the truck sort of struggles in the mud and it like pushes you from side to side and stuff. So yeah, that's my gameplay.
Lovely.
Yeah. Anyways, boys and girls, that is a show. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. You can get your cup of Joe over at oakandcrow.com. The We Just Love Coffee, Way Tenango, and I forgot the other kind blend. I'm going to tell you in just a minute. Oh, wait, we don't have the label yet. Never mind. Buy some coffee over at Oak and Crow. $2 goes to the Children's Miracle Network, and it's really good coffee, apparently, I've heard. Any plugs or announcements, Shaline?
No.
Okay. Well, tune in next Friday for that Fallout show. And if you would like to email us, you can do so at info@wejustlovegames.com. You can find us on Twitter at We Just Love Games, Shaline at Shaline L, Rick at Rick McVick, and myself at Vendertron N. We also have a presence on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, facebook.com/group/We Just Love Games. Make sure you join our Discord if you're not already on there. If you are listening live, you can scroll down right below us. The Discord link is there. We record this show live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Please like, subscribe, and review, and we will shout you out on the show. Thank you guys for listening. Shaline, any last words?
Chicken police.